Welcome back to channel 50, and this is Sunday, which means today is a Sunday kitchen, and today I'm gonna make something really interesting, and it will be pizza. I honestly never done a pizza in my life, so it's gonna be actually the big challenge. Had a look on the web for some recipe, and I'm just gonna make some just very ordinary pizza, and these are just some of the ingredients that you may need. You should include olive oil, salt, possibly pineapples and cheese depending what you want to put on the top, honey, plain flour, and easy bake yeast, or just the yeast. And that's pretty much it. Just to make a pizza. So, what will be the first step to do? Obviously, you'll need to make a dough. D-O-G-H. For that, you'll need obviously the flour, about 500 grams. I'm not sure how much is it. I don't have any scales or here anything, but I would suggest it'll be 1.5 of this. So let's put it there. See what happens. Doesn't want to go much. That seems to be quite a lot. Just gonna add a little bit more. And here we go again, just add a little bit more. So that's we added the flour. The next thing you'll need a little bit of salt. So I mean just says you'll need like 2 teaspoons, but I don't really like salt, so just barely gonna put 1.5. So it's not actually necessary. Another thing you can put is honey as well. So let's just put some honey. So here it is. One proper. It's probably not gonna fall off. Come on, go. Let's do it with a finger, because I'm gonna have to. Yeah, because I'm gonna have to put my fingers there anyway. So let's stick it back in there. So here we are. Right, the salt is already there. The flour is already there, and the honey is already there. Right, the water, next is water, and this is very important. The water has to be warm, not cold, not hot, but it has to be like just about warm. So just put the finger there. It has to be just about the body temperature. So just put it there. And I've got a little bit more as well. You'll need about 300 to 400 millimeters. So here we are. The next thing, the final thing you need to put in the dough is yeast, which obviously the kind of stuff that's gonna make this thing to grow. Obviously the mass I'm gonna make is gonna grow because of this. So let's just put this thing in it. So here it is. If you obviously can't buy these in 7-gram packets, I would suggest maybe you'll put 2 teaspoons, and I think that will be enough. I think that's it, what you need to put in the dough. Now you're obviously going to have to mix it up and make it as a whole thing. So let's do this. To be honest, the last time I've done this was about 10 years ago, and I haven't done it for a very, very long time. This is probably gonna take this could take up to 10 minutes actually. Right, I realized it's a little bit too sticky, so I'm gonna add a little bit more flour and see what happens. Okay, I'm adding even more flour. And also I'm adding some flour to my hand. That's what I actually forgot about. So here it is. Becomes much better controlled substance. Here it is. The most important thing is to put not too much flour, and if it's not enough flour, then you're also going to have some serious problems. I think I actually forgot to put the olive oil on it, so I think nothing bad gonna happen, hopefully, if I put some olive oil on it. If it does, then, well, it's gonna be my own fault. Now again. So here it is. The dog is ready. Hopefully I pronounce it right. You put all the right ingredients, hopefully. So at the beginning you put about half kilogram of the flour, then you put about 400 up to 400 milliliters of warm water, not the cold water, not the hot water, but the warm water. You can also put a little bit of milk, about 25 milliliters, up to 2 teaspoons of salt, and 7 grams of yeast. You can also put honey. And don't forget also some olive oil as well. Now once it's all been mixed, and prepared, now you have to cover it with a towel for about at least an hour, and then we'll see what happens. I'm expecting for this thing to grow. That's it. Cover it up. Right, we'll see what happens in about an hour. Okay, it has been nearly an hour since I left the dog in there, so let's see what has just happened. I haven't seen much. Yeah, it looks much bigger than it was. So normally you will need to leave it there for about an hour, then mix it up a bit, then leave it for about another hour. But I don't have too much time today, so I've just left it for about 45 minutes. I'm happy enough with the size of it at the moment. Probably, obviously, the longer the better, but I don't have too much time this day, then I will need to make some pizza right now. So before I move this from here to actually preparing process, you'll need something like this, and you need to put some flour, otherwise it's going to stick to the surface. The same thing you'll need on the hands. You need to put some flour on the hands as well. So obviously I'm holding a camera in one hand, so I'm gonna have to make some adjustments. So here we are. Found some reasonable place for my camera. Hopefully you'll be able to see everything. So I'm taking out from this cup, the first thing I'm gonna stick my hands in some flour. Otherwise this thing, I'm actually gonna put something on the top of it. So I'm doing it the first time in my life, the actual pizza. The only thing I ever done with this before was macaroni and spaghetti. That's what I've done myself. So, doesn't want to move it. I have no idea what size it's supposed to be, so I'm probably just gonna cut it in half. I'm gonna try to make some pizza out of it then. So where is a knife? Okay, let's roll the things up. Don't forget to sip anything in the flour, otherwise it's gonna stick to the thing. Okay, when the thing is ready, well, almost ready, more or less, it looks fine. I don't have any pizza sauce, so you can use ketchup instead. I actually don't have much left, so you can use some ketchup and you can spread it around. I have no idea what is gonna happen with all this, so just spread it. The next thing is obviously the cheese. You can buy here these things already done, or you can, you know, cut it yourself the way you need it. So just spread some cheese. Has to be spread it evenly, otherwise it's gonna end up as a disaster. Okay, I think that's enough. Next thing, I'm gonna add some German salami. That's a thing. That's the only thing I have in my house, so I'm gonna add it there. So adding some salami, some spicy salami. Look at this. That's more or less looks like a pizza. Right. Maybe a little bit of cheese on the top. Or actually we'll put some pineapples first. Look at this. The juicy pineapples. Actually, pieces of the pineapples. Just gonna stick them right there. I don't know, if you're watching this hungry, I really feel sorry for you, because I am hungry at the moment and I can't wait to find out how this thing is gonna taste like. I should actually put some pineapples before putting salami. Here it is. That's how it looks like. Back there. Right. Anything else? Maybe some cheese on top. Just a little bit. Oh, that's it. Looks like, it's more or less looks like a pizza. So here it is, probably the weirdest looking pizza I ever saw and you ever saw, but you'll see what's gonna happen after I'm gonna bake it. I have already preheated the oven, so make sure before you put it in, you preheat the oven to about at least 200 degrees and then stick it in. And most of the recipes I saw on the internet, that's where I take this from, they say you have to put your oven to the maximum. So put it in the maximum, I'll put it for about 10 minutes and we'll see what happens. There's one more thing I forgot to tell you about. Before you put it in the oven, just grab some olive oil and just soak these side parts with the olive oil. And once you have done that, you can stick it in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. Not sure for how long, depending on the size of a pizza, the size of the crust, just the size of the base and stuff like that. Okay, the pizza seems to be getting ready. There is a little word of warning. I actually struggled to put it in there because there's so much stuff on it that I couldn't actually lift it from here. So I had to actually roll it together and just put it down in the plate. So I nearly break it in pieces. So instead, you can use plate like this and put it all already there and make all the stuff in there. That would make your life much, much easier. Well, here it is. The pizza is ready. Now it doesn't look like a, it doesn't look ideally round it's supposed to be, but it looks tasty. Gonna find out in 1 second how it tastes like. So, I've already cut it in 4 pieces. And in 1 second, it's actually too warm, but it looks quite authentic. Wow. So, without any experience, anybody can do it. You probably will not get it ideally right the first time, but if you try it again and again, you'll be able to do it yourself. I never done it in my life, and this pretty much looks like a pizza. I usually get it in the shop. Usually get the frozen pizza. You put it in the oven and it's ready. This pizza got ready in about 5 minutes. It took about 5 to 10 minutes for it to cook. So I'm gonna find out in a wee second how it tastes like. Hungry? Well, I'm definitely hungry. Let's see. It tastes really good. You can't compare it to the frozen pizza from a local shop. So just one more time, I'm gonna remind you of the ingredients you need, and then you possibly could try make it yourself. It's not too hard. It takes about 2 hours, and then in the end you'll get the pizza you want. The only thing I could have left it a little bit longer in the oven, but I was afraid to burn it. I probably added a little bit too much oil at the bottom of it, but overall it's absolutely amazing. Well, there's not much pizza left. It was probably one of the best pizzas I had in a while. It's very similar to the ones you can have in the takeaway. It was the first attempt, and it ended up very well. So let me just remind you what ingredients you need to make a dog, and then obviously the ingredients of the topping, it will be up to you, to be honest. So to make a dog you'll need obviously the flour, white flour, about half kilogram would be enough, but once you make it you would adjust it, you probably add a little bit more to that if it's not enough. You'll need the yeast, about 7 grams, or probably I would say 2 or 3 teaspoons of yeast. You'll need 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt. You'll need 25 milliliters of olive oil. You could also add the milk to it. You'll need about 50 milliliters of warm milk. So the milk has to be warm, not cold, not too hot, it has to be warm. The same thing with water. You'll need probably just about 2 2 glasses of water, probably size like this, would be enough, maybe less. Definitely one of this, but in terms of the size, it says 325 milliliters of warm water. Again, not cold water, not hot boiling water. It has to be warm water. If it's too hot, then nothing is gonna work out. So you mix those things together, and as you saw in the previously in the video, and then afterwards, you know, we just put the toppings on, and that's pretty much it. Sounds easy, but to be honest, it's not as easy as it sounds like. It was the first time. It was, well, not too difficult, but not too easy as well. If you have any suggestions for me to make something for next time, let me know in the comments below. In any case, I've enjoyed my pizza. Good result. I was expecting worse. And that's it for today, for Sunday's Kitchen, and I hope to see you again.